应回来再来看国际方面的消息。虽然伊斯兰国领袖巴格达迪已经在之前的一次行动中被美军击毙，但整个恐怖组织并没有完全瓦解。日前，伊拉克一位军方代表接受了记者的访问，表达了他目前的担忧。他表示，有很多伊斯兰国间谍工作于伊拉克和土耳其之间，能够造成潜在的破坏力极强。虽然领袖死亡，但他们依然存活着，并可能企图进行进一步的破坏行动。而伊拉克和土耳其彼此之间的矛盾目前也很尖锐，当地实现真正的稳定与和平几乎还是遥遥无期。
Hidden among those fleeing the last stand of the so-called Islamic Caliphate are leaders who evaded prisons like these, taking refuge in Turkey. Flush with millions of dollars and driven by revenge, they're plotting mass jail breakouts to rebuild the terror network. These explosive warnings come from Iraq's veteran head of military intelligence in an exclusive interview with CNN.
Those elements who are currently in areas in Turkey play a key role in the new effort to recruit fighters. Top-level leaders who fled secretly in the direction of Gaziantep and other areas are key founding members of the organization. And they have vast amounts of money. They even have investments in Turkey.
The general said that he handed a dossier of 9 ISIS leaders to Turkish military officials in this room a month ago. We were shown, but not allowed to film, Iraqi arrest warrants for 2 of those men, which said that they are expert bomb makers and wanted for terror and mass murder. The warrants say they pose a great danger in the Middle East and to the West. Turkish officials told CNN that they're looking into the allegations. Iraq tracked and attacked former ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, forcing him from Iraq into Syria, where he was eventually killed in October. But the general warned that the ISIS threat remains potent. About 10,000 alleged fighters are now held in prisons guarded by the Syrian Democratic Forces. How long they can be contained is unclear, since Turkey's recent incursion into the area, where it considers the Kurdish elements of the SDF a terror group. The Trump administration has been widely criticized for withdrawing US forces who were working with the SDF from the border area. European forces have done nothing to help contain the potential threat here, and most refuse to repatriate their citizens who joined ISIS. Turkish forces have rounded up dozens of alleged ISIS members, recently arresting 42 people allegedly involved in complex money transfers for the terror group. But Iraqi military intelligence believes that these prisons and others like it could be attacked at any time, funded by ISIS leaders living in Turkey.
We have concluded that the real intention of ISIS is to begin a mission they're calling break down defenses, to storm jails inside Iraq and Syria to free terrorists.
And what do you think should be done about them?
There should be a large international effort to deal with this, because these criminals could escape camps and go back to their countries. They pose a great danger to countries in Europe, Asia, and North Africa.
In the nation where the terrorist caliphate first emerged, a warning that it still has the money and the intent to be reborn. Sam Kiley, CNN, Baghdad.
日前，法国内政部发布了一项统计数据，资料显示，2018年法国有至少137名女性遭到自己的配偶、前夫或者前男友的杀害，这相当于每3天就有1名法国女性死于家暴。这个惊人的数字引发了当地政府的密切关注。而据了解，意大利等其他欧洲国家也面临着同样严峻的问题。法国政府开始进行广泛咨询，草拟妨害杀害女性的新措施，以全面消除对女性的谋杀和暴力。
There is great power in words. Whether they're chanted, painted, printed, or even pasted on walls. Some even say that words can kill.
This is big. I mean, this is like the Bataclan every year.
130 people died in terror attacks, including the Bataclan, in November 2015. Around the same number of women are dying every year in France from a crisis of domestic violence. And a debate is now raging here about the culture that allows this to happen, and the language used to describe this violence is right at the heart of it.
There is a lot of expression which diminish the level of the violence. Family drama is used to describe a murder, a feminicide.
Femicide is the killing of a woman because she is a woman, and most often by her partner. That's what authorities believe happened to Marie-Alice Dibon. Her body was found stuffed in a suitcase and dumped in a river.
You're devastated, you're disgusted, you're ashamed that something like that could happen to your family. And you think, what a waste. I love those. This is really her. She was already caring. He did everything so that she couldn't fight back.
Why do you think he did it?
Because I think he understood there was no coming back. She was going to leave him.
A relationship ends and a murder follows. It's a brutally common story here, and one that is often reported in a troubling way.
It's subtle, and there is always a sense on it happened because she deserved it.
That implication has become a focus for many activists here, with a clear message to the authorities and to the media. This is a crime that needs to be taken more seriously.
There is still media who speak of drame conjugal, crime passionnel.
And why is that important? What does that imply?
It doesn't recognize the reality of the crime. There is no love in the story. There is just violence.
To help the estimated 200,000 women suffering this violence, the French government has pledged over $5 million and launched a national debate on the issue of femicide.
There are 250 rape each day, so it's a big problem, it's a big issue.
This issue dates all the way back to 1804, when the Napoleonic Code legally made women inferior to men. France's laws may have changed, but the culture and the media have been slow to follow suit.
He hurt his wife because he didn't like the soup. He was trying to seduce women with a vegetable, drunk, coma. He went into the wrong room and into the wrong woman. This is some kind of a pun, a play on words. But the thing is, it's talking about a rape of a woman. Violence against women is not a funny story. It's something that you have to talk about like a fact of society, something that happens very regularly.
Femicide is just the very tip of the iceberg, the result of something a lot bigger, and this can only change if the culture changes.
Rosie Tompkins, CNN.
耶路撒冷虽然连年战乱，但那里的民众也对足球有着疯狂的热爱。然而，记者日前采访了当地一家著名俱乐部的老板，他表示，在当地的球迷中，种族歧视这个问题格外严重，影响了球员和球队的发展，这是急需解决的一个问题。
He's a piano-playing high-tech millionaire who decided to take on racist soccer fans by buying the team. Beitar Jerusalem is one of Israel's top clubs, the only one never to sign an Arab Muslim player, and one with a history of racism from a vocal segment of its fan base.
I'm here to build a strong club, an advanced club, a competitive club that is winning titles with a happy football. But at the same time, to take this bad thing and take racism and cut it out of Beitar Jerusalem.
Moshe Hogeg has his work cut out for him. Beitar Jerusalem has been infamous for a small group of hardcore supporters called La Familia, best known for their chants of death to Arabs.
They're racist. And that's a big problem. And this small group affected the name of the hundreds of thousands of amazing Beitar fans that are not racist at all.
The fan record has improved. 2 racist chants recorded in 2018, down from 17 the season prior. That's according to the NGO, the New Israel Fund. But it's a new season and with it a new challenge, the signing of a player named Ali Muhammad. Soon, La Familia's chants against their own player came. Muhammad is dead, is what they're saying. Ali is dead.
Now, here's the thing, not that it should matter, of course, but Ali Muhammad is neither Arab nor is he Muslim. He's from Niger, and he says he's a devout Christian. But because his name sounds Muslim, that's enough for some fans to want to change his name, just so they don't have to say Muhammad.
The racist element is a minority, and at the club's first pre-season practice, the Muhammad is dead and Ali is dead chants were drowned out by other fans. And Moshe Hogeg says he's suing fans who cross the line.
I don't go to the police. I just send I filed a lawsuit of anywhere between $1 million shekel, that is equivalent to like, let's say $300,000, and up to $500,000 on trying or damaging the reputation of the club.
Hogeg says his lawyers have sent warning letters to 3 fans demanding an apology. The Beitar owner says if they don't come, he will file the lawsuits. Ali Muhammad won't talk about fan racism. He wants his football to do the talking. And this happened when we tried to get La Familia members to talk on camera. At this practice, La Familia members were present but overwhelmed by other fans making it clear Ali Muhammad is welcome at Beitar Jerusalem.
What do you think of the fans?
Amazing. You can see for yourself, it's amazing. I didn't expect this.
Moshe Hogeg admits it's been a tough fight and it's not yet won. He even contemplated selling the club, but he hasn't. Instead, he waits for one moment that will make his fight worthwhile.
When Muhammad will score a goal, you will hear the whole stadium cheering for him. I think it will be an historic moment for this club and an important one.
Michael Holmes, CNN, Jerusalem.
近来，非洲国家津巴布韦的经济发展一直陷入困境。日前，当地民众组织了一场示威游行，人们走上街头，呼吁政府拿出新的方针、政策和解决方法，改善民众的生活水平。而当地政府则表示，如果局势失控，可能会动用武力对抗。
Signs of the times in Zimbabwe. Rolling blackouts in the capital, Harare, are forcing lifestyle changes for businesses and ordinary Zimbabweans.
It is a very tough time indeed, because we're having to only operate during the night where there's availability of power.
Employees at Moses Chipurura's Plaster Centre now work at night to cope with the frequent power outages in the capital. The state-owned power company is struggling to stay afloat. A severe drought has reduced output at its largest hydro plant, and its aging coal-fired generators are no longer reliable. The result? Rolling blackouts lasting up to 18 hours a day, crippling businesses and making life difficult for residents. Companies like this one now begin work at about 10 p.m. when power is restored. Cynthia Chabuino is making similar adjustments.
I'm supposed to be sleeping and resting, but I have to wake up and do household chores like fetching water and ironing. It's unbearable.
People like Cynthia also have to contend with the shortage of water due to severe restrictions from the authorities, limiting access to clean tap water to once a week. Zimbabwe is reeling from a worsening economic crisis. In July, inflation doubled to 175%. The highest since the country's devastating economic collapse a decade ago. When he took over in an apparent military coup in 2017, President Emmerson Mnangagwa promised to fix the economy. His government has imposed austerity measures, but that's done little to help. Prices of food and fuel have soared, and long lines at petrol stations are common.
Things are going tougher every day. The fuel is going up, the prices are going up because the fuel is going up.
The country is crippled by massive debt incurred during the rule of Robert Mugabe and needs a multi-billion-dollar bailout. But despite some efforts to tackle the problem, President Mnangagwa's government has yet to win the confidence of the international community that could provide that bailout. Robin Kerno, CNN.
目前，南美洲亚马逊雨林的生态问题已经成为全世界关注的危机。然而，它最切实影响到的是真正世代居住在那里原住民的生活。面对来自自然灾害和各方势力的压力，当地部落的民众不断用自己的方法，尽力保护着赖以生存的传统文化和家园。
Called the lungs of the earth, the Amazon is the world's largest rainforest and one of the most biologically diverse places on the planet. Its 6 million square kilometres of forest are a key buffer against increasing levels of carbon in our atmosphere. But this precious natural resource has long been under threat. Now one tribe is fighting back.
We came here for our right to live. We haven't come here to negotiate with the government. We came here to get the government to respect our jungle, our land. It's our home.
Nemonte Nenkemo is a leader of the Waorani, one of a number of indigenous tribes that still call the rainforest home. The Ecuadorian government has sought to expand oil production in the region to boost an ailing economy, a move that threatens the tribal way of life. In response, the Waorani people have taken to the streets and courts of Ecuador to prevent the government selling their ancestral lands to oil companies. With the help of an NGO called Amazon Frontlines, the tribe won a landmark case in April, which campaigners say protects 500,000 acres of rainforest. That ruling was upheld against an appeal by the Ministries of Environment and Energy, a second victory for Nemonte and her tribe.
We have won the victory, and this means that our children and future generations are going to live healthy, free and happy.
Their story is a rare glimmer of hope in the fight to save the Amazon and could pave the way for other tribes to take similar action. Ecuadorian officials were not available for comment. In July, they said in a statement,
"It is important to highlight that this ruling does not affect in any way the oil production in our country. We confirm our commitment to develop our natural resources with the highest social and environmental standards, respecting the community's rights in the key project areas."
The only message I can give to the other countries is to have a soul, to defend our jungle for future generations, because we are not children, and it's our children who benefit.
While the Waorani lands are protected for now, other parts of the Amazon are at increasing risk. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has undone decades of rainforest protections, causing deforestation in Brazil to accelerate in June to over 1.5 football fields every minute, and leading researchers to fear the Amazon is at a dangerous tipping point. Unless drastic action is taken, Nemonte and tribes like hers may be the last ones standing in defence of this priceless natural resource. Becky Anderson, CNN, London.
接下来，请关注汉天生活报道。